KSAP Beats.
All right, let's get wired in. Welcome to another episode of Wired In with Appavelli, where we discuss code, and more code. Just software engineering in general. Just random topics about software development. So today, I decided that I'm going to talk about monetizing your apps in the Windows Store. Only, not Google Play, not Apple App Store, but Windows Store. The reason why I decided to talk about this is because a lot of people always wonder how much developers are really making in the Microsoft Store. A lot of people that I talk to, I say, hey, you can just create it if you're using C# to build your app using Xamarin, just make it a Windows version. Nah, it's not really popular. They don't have a phone, but there are over 800 million devices running Windows 10. That's open market. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to be rich, but you could. You never know. You just never know how much money you can make distributing your apps in a Microsoft Store. You don't know how successful you could be until you try it. The most important thing I learned is you got to have the passion to do it. It's not about the money. It's not about just trying to be rich, but also for me, it's a learning process. I learned a lot about, it's not about just slapping a price on your app. It's all about trying different things, like different strategies. That's actually pretty fun, just to try different strategies, because you don't know what's going to work. Try something until it works. That's why I want to talk about this today. It's been a fun journey over the last several years that I've been developing Windows apps. So I want to talk about mainly two apps in the Microsoft Store, and that's the Hockey Playbook app and my Basketball Playbook app. Those are the only two apps that I have that are paid in the Microsoft Store, and those have been my two most successful apps across, Microsoft and Google Play Store. I really, over the past year, I've had great success with these two apps, and I tried something different. Normally, I set a sale pricing different times of the year, whether it's basketball season, hockey season, Black Friday, it's holiday season, spring sale. I try to create sales. I said, I want to do something different. So around this time last year, I said, I'm going to just have my apps on sale every 30 days. I'm going to run a sale. I think that's the max you can run a sale is 30 days. So I sell both apps for $4.99. And I decided to put them on sale for $2.99, basically half price, right? I said, let me see what happens. I noticed when I placed these apps on sale, downloads increased. So before I go into more detail on why I think that worked, I'm going to talk about different pricing models or monetization strategies that you can explore in the Windows Store. So first off, you can basically offer your app as a paid app. You basically charge up front, charge a price up front. You might want to sell the app for $20, 99 cents, $5, however much you think the app is worth. You can offer free trials. You can set a trial where, let's say, you can offer it a free version, let's say 10 days or 5 days, and once the trial has expired, you can offer them to buy the full version, or you can limit features in the trial version. One of the most popular ways is using in-app purchases. Basically, you charge for you offer your app for free, and you can use in-app purchases in your app to provide ongoing revenue stream. You can upgrade to new features, and offer new features via in-app purchase. It's kind of similar to a free trial, but the app is free. There's no trial. Users just have to pay for additional features. With the trial, you can set a limit. So once that limit has expired, that's it. You can also monetize your app with ads, interstitial ads, banner ads, native ads. That's a good way to monetize your app. But one thing I like about the Microsoft Store, they give you a lot of flexibility on setting your price and availability in the store. I mean, you can make a schedule if you want your app to be available on a certain date. You can have sale pricing. You can offer sale pricing basically whenever. Organizational licensing, like I said, start date, end dates. You have a lot of flexibility. You really do. And I know a lot of developers are kind of like skeptical of releasing apps in the Microsoft Store because they feel like the return on investment is not worth it. I think it depends. I think if you're doing well in the other stores, I mean, why not try? I mean, it's only $19 for a license fee to be a Microsoft developer, a Windows developer. I mean, you can make that up easily. And that's not a big loss. It's not like you're paying every year. It's just a one-time fee. I think it's the work you put in determines the success. So the return on investment works for me because I've made more than my initial investment on this platform. So I set a pricing on my basketball playbook and hockey playbook, $4.99, as I mentioned earlier, and I set it on sale for $2.99. So how did these apps do a year later? Now, mind you, before I set the sale pricing, I really didn't get but maybe a couple downloads. I would say maybe 1 or 2 downloads a month. Sometimes I didn't receive any downloads, right? So that's why I want to try something different. I said, let me just have a sale every 30 days. So 12 months ago, which is a year ago, I placed the app on sale and I generated $627.90. Now, I'm not super rich. It's not a whole lot of money, but that's pretty good money off 2 apps. I made let's round it up, $630 within the year off 2 apps. So that's a lot of activity. So I started thinking, what if I had 2 more apps and I generated that? I would probably make almost $1,500 in the Microsoft Store. That definitely exceeds the initial return on investment, right? So I was thinking, maybe I'm going to keep doing this until it no longer works. I just started, like I said, I was just sitting around. I was just thinking different strategies. I didn't want to offer it for free with ads. I think the app is actually worth paying for. I put a lot of time and hard work in these apps, so I didn't want to just give it away for free. I didn't know if in-app purchases were worth it. So this is a paid app. Now I might set a trial. That is what I might do when I add new features. So I'm always adding new features. And while I'm adding new features, I'm always thinking about monetization strategy. I might change these apps into in-app purchases. What if I change the model to in-app purchase instead of paid? What if I double, triple what I make with in-app purchases by offering this for free? That's why I'm sharing my journey, changing the monetization strategy, because I'm showing you that sometimes you can't be stubborn and just stick to one pricing model and think it's going to work. That's with any store. That's with any store. You always have to change. But one thing I can say about Microsoft, you get flexibility. In the Play Store, you only can set a sale pricing for 7 days. That's not really, and you only can do it once. So you only can create a sale once a month. You don't really have a lot of flexibility in the Play Store. I can't really try this strategy in the Play Store. So now let's talk about ads. I didn't make anything with ads. I made $61.38 ad revenue. Now, granted, my theory with ads is that you got to have a lot of users. Obviously, that's how money is. That's how Google make their money, is advertisements, right? Because they have a lot of users, so they make a lot of money. You have to have a high volume of users using your app on a daily basis to make money with ads. Or you have to have just a lot of apps. And I'm not saying just crack out apps for no reason, but create useful apps, and over time just build a lot of users, and you'll make pretty decent money with ads. That's my theory, and I kind of came up with that theory just talking with other developers who've had success. So that's basically what I wanted to share. Like I said, I made $630, 2 apps, sale pricing. I'm going to do another sale pricing probably after this podcast. I'm going to try it again for the next couple months, and then I'm going to reevaluate and see how can I maximize my revenue. And like I said, maybe in-app purchases. I think developers, like I said, it's what are you going to lose by creating a Windows app? I mean, it's really simple, straightforward. Microsoft offers a lot of flexibility. It's only a $19 one-time fee. $19, that's not a lot of money. You can create as many apps as you want. I think with Apple, if you start creating so many apps, they'll tell you have too many apps, and you're paying $100 a year. And Microsoft, they check your app. It's not like Google where they just let any app in the store. They check your app, make sure there's no malware. They really check to make sure it's good quality app that is functional. So I believe developers should really target Windows desktop software. If you have an idea, I'm not saying just neglect mobile, but if you have an idea, start thinking about other devices. Start thinking about mixed reality devices. Windows 10 is running on mixed reality devices on the Xbox. We have a new Xbox, I think, being released next year. You can release games, and it's just another distribution channel, and it's just extra money. Even if it's an extra $1,000 a year, I mean, every little bit helps, especially when you're an indie dev. So it's better than just trying to make apps in a crowded market and you're not making any money. A lot of developers are not really making any money in the Play Store or App Store starting out, because they just, they're banking on, it's iOS, it's Android, it's popular, people are going to find my app. No matter what platform you decide to publish your app, it's work. It's a lot of work. We're just afraid that if we put in a lot of work that we won't get the success. But I don't do this for the money. Like I said, I do this for the passion. And plus there's an open market, and I'm a developer, and I want to, showcase my talents in the Microsoft ecosystem. I see a lot of other developers creating cool apps, and a lot of other developers I've talked to, some are not making money or a lot of money, and some are making pretty decent money in the Microsoft Store. And a lot of them use the in-app purchases model, like I said, which I think is popular across all stores. Even subscription model is starting to become popular. So think of an app and offer it as a service, subscription. You got to think about Windows users. There's over 800 million. There's almost 1 billion Windows users. And they use productivity applications on their desktop. So there's something you can build to help enhance their productivity. Here's an idea. You have an iOS and an Android version of your app. Why not make a desktop version, like a companion version? People are using multiple devices now. They're not just using one device. You know, I use multiple devices. I use my laptop to do work on. I use my Android tablet. And sometimes I use my iPhone. I have multiple devices. I use my Xbox. So I use multiple devices. So just make an app that run on multiple devices. Don't just focus on 2 ecosystems because they're popular. And don't let tech blog writers discourage you with, with the negative outlook on the Microsoft Store or UWP. It's all just propaganda. So that's basically all I wanted to talk about. Maybe a year from now, I'll do another podcast and let you guys know how much money I'm making in the stores. I might even do one with Google Play and maybe Apple App Store if I ever decide to release independent apps of some of my own apps in the App Store. But I think I'm going to share revenue more often. So hopefully other indie devs, even if you're in college, you want to make extra money, release an app. Don't just look at apps as, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm not thinking, I'm going to be a millionaire off the next app. But you can make pretty good money. And like I said, off 2 apps, I made $630 within the last 12 months selling the app for $2.99. Imagine if I had 5 apps selling for $2.99. Imagine you get 10 apps selling for $2.99. You're making pretty good money. And I still have a long way to go. I didn't even market these apps. They pretty much marketed themselves. So once I start really marketing the app, adding new features, I created my own social media pages for my basketball playbook and hockey playbook, Facebook and Instagram pages. Post on there, build a community, get involved. Like, it's a lot more to it than releasing the app, putting it in the store, and hoping people download it. Once you release an app, it's a business. So don't look at it as you have the next app idea. That's $1 million idea. I've talked about that several times. So that's it for this episode. Another edition of Wired In with Apavelli. Follow me on Instagram at Twitter at Apavelli. Please rate, subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Please rate 5 stars. Please subscribe on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. I'll also be uploading my podcast on YouTube as well. So until next time, stay wired in, and I am out.